others are also insinuating that basically the reason why this administration is already setting a path on this sense of alignment is because of the supposed controversy on this legibility of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, which of course is concerning the certificate situation. And that if the foundation, they say, you know, if the foundation is not clear, then it is not surprising that you will have anything that comes out of it not clear. What's your line of thought in regards to that?
Thank you very much. First of all, I think if a thing is bad, there's no other name to it than calling it bad. If once a thing is illegal, once a thing is against the rules, it's against the rules and there's no other name to it. I don't want to go searching for excuse for any wrongdoing for anybody. Nigeria is in a very delicate situation at the moment, and nobody needs to be told. Even the blind and the deaf could see that we are going through a terrible time. And for instance, if you ask me, I will even say there is no basis for the comparison. The president had issues that had to do with his credentials. Fellow politicians like him challenged and went to court, and those issues rose as far as the Supreme Court, and they have been put to rest. Now you are talking about an appointee of government, whom didn't contest election. Nigeria is a population of over 2 million persons. And among these million persons, you have capable hands in virtually all the local governments, in all the states and everywhere you could lay your hands on. There are credible men and women who could actually do this job. So I am saying here that good enough. I think the president has ordered that a probe should be carried out. That is step one, and I think it's the right step in the right direction. I want to, but though this is not the first time we are seeing such orders, so I'm not going to clap yet, but I'm saying that they should go the extra mile to ensure that something tangible, something reasonable comes out of the probe. Because subsequent times we have seen presidents in the past order for probe, and nothing comes out. But there are 101 probe. I could the list is endless. That today there are no results that came out of those probes. So first and foremost, somebody needs to be accountable. Somebody needs to be liable, and that is one of the problems we have had in this nation. Things happen, and at the end of the day, nobody is held accountable. If it's actually a mistake, as it could be called, that okay, maybe she did that out of ignorance, then it means she does not understand the ethics and the rules of her job. And that is even enough in a Senate client. That is enough to even resign your job.
All right.
Then if it was done deliberately, it means she also has to quit her job.
Okay.
First of all, in a Senate client, you should step aside while the probe goes on.
Well, apparently,
step aside while the probe goes on.
Well,
so
since,
the idea again, let me quickly chip in that suddenly I read from the page of the newspaper where she said that corruption is fighting corruption, and I was wondering when she has suddenly become a corruption fighter.
Okay.
Read. It has become a Nollywood play at this juncture that
interesting
suddenly she's fighting corruption
in Nigeria. Everybody's talking about fighting corruption, but then corruption seems to be thriving. I'm going to take an excerpt from her letter, and I will get Dr. Victor's response to this one as well. I think we've touched on this. Now, bear in mind, before I take this, bear in mind that the trial, EFCC and the courts talking about Umaru Farouk, when she was asked to be in court, she said she was not feeling well. That's another thing. All right, we're having a situation whereby political office holders accused of misappropriation always come down sick. Now, let me even start with that one. Murphy, you are a legal practitioner. why is it that most political office holders that are asked to come to court come down sick? What does the law say to this, really? And why is this, an excuse, a usual excuse in the court of law? Murphy?
Thank you very much. First of all, I think it needs to be established that once people are beginning to try to evade going to court to present their cases before the court, it means, first of all, that there's something to hide. They have something to hide somewhere. Then, secondly, let me also establish this, that these persons are those who have one way or the other occupied public offices, and they have access to good funds. The money that you and I are lacking today, you don't need to be told that is in private pocket. So these persons have money, and they can as well hire very good lawyers. And what's the job of your lawyer, actually? The job of your lawyer is actually to represent you and get you out of your trouble. You don't pay your lawyer to send you to jail. So once you get a lawyer, his duty is to take a deeper look at our law and look for a loophole where it could grab and use as a defense. So that is why once these persons are accused, they suddenly fall sick, they have hypertension, they have diabetes, they have cancer, they have the rest of, because these are advices from their legal team. These are advices from their lawyer, because ordinarily, even beyond the law, it's not that we have gone so criminally minded that we joke and toy with everything. Normally, you have sympathy for a sick person. When they say a person is sick, you are supposed to have. That is why even to the extent of what people had already been sentenced, even those that have been pronounced guilty by the court, while in prison, you are also entitled to medication. You are also entitled to good health.
Okay.
And in this case, these persons are persons who are not actually being sentenced, but because they want to evade justice, they want to avoid being taken to court properly. They also want to delay the process of justice. But I think that is even the major target here. That is even the major target here. And whether you like it or not, it may not necessarily amount to, I want you to take note of this part. It is not necessarily a crime before the law. It's not necessarily a crime before the law. But you and I, beyond the law, know that it's just a tactic to evade justice. It's just a tactic to delay the court process.
All right, tactics to delay the court process. We've seen that play out. Let's also let our viewers know that you can be part of this conversation. There's a number on your screen. You can send messages to that number, and we will take your messages in the course of the program. All right, you can send WhatsApp, SMSs, and the rest of them to that number. And I do believe that you can also calling. We just might, get your voice here as well. After all, we are your voice of the people.
Exactly.
All right then, Victor. Now, let me quickly take an excerpt from her letter when this accusation came up. She says in this part, "I'm writing to address recent news circulating about alleged fraud within the Ministry of Humanitarian and Poverty Alleviation. As the minister, I want to assure you that these claims are baseless and an attempt to undermine the efforts we are making to fight corruption and uplift those in need. In the course of our work, we have encountered resistance from forces whose hands may not be clean, but I want to emphasize that our commitment to transparency, accountability, and eradicating corruption remains unwavering." She said, "The challenges we face only strengthen our resolve to serve with integrity and dedication." This seems like there are other forces that are, poking and propelling issues here. Do you think what Serap is doing will amount? I mean, Serap, bringing this case up. Do you think it will amount to anything, really?
And please remember that she said God is her strength in this entire ordeal.
Dr. Victor. Dr. Hyde, please. All right, we seem to be having an issue with your audio. We can't hear you.
Sorry, I didn't mute it. I don't know why I got muted, but you can hear me now.
Yes,
right,
you can.
yes,
Go ahead, please.
I was not the one that muted it initially.
No problem.
Okay, so God is the strength of everybody, so it's not exclusive preserve, you know. But setup seems to me like the last man standing right now. Many of the so-called civil society organizations, we have since seen that they are just after their stomachs and all that, and they were just politicians, you know, in the garb of CSOs. So I think that for whatever it's worth, what Serap is doing is, you know, putting the agenda on the burner for us to keep discussing. And I think that it should be tested in the courts, because what she's claiming right now, she's making these claims right now because perhaps probably the money has not yet been spent, and she thinks that makes her innocent. It doesn't. It doesn't absolve her of what the accusations are, which is the fact that you don't. She made an attempt. What I'm not very sure of, and I need clarification on that now, is whether the money was actually transferred or not. Because what we have seen is that a memo was sent, or an instruction was sent to the Accountant General. From what I'm hearing from the Accountant General, it does appear like it has not been done. So the reason she's huffing and puffing, the reason she's so confident is because what is supposed to be the deed has not yet been done. But the intentions are very, very clear. What she was about to do was also very, very clear. And so, and as we say in pidgin or street parlance, it's not pure. Her way not pure, if you excuse my language, you know, because how can you want to move that kind of money into one person's account? What if the person drops dead tomorrow? You know, God forbid, you know? And then you are using that for several states. You want one human being to manage this money for several states. You know, does the ministry not have officers represented in each of these states? How were these things done before? And if you want to do it through an NGO, is that the trend? Is that how it's been done before? You know, so these things are a bit suspect for me. And why do you want to do for 4 states and all that with only one person? You know, so I think she was caught with her finger in the cookie jar, and right now she's being bold-faced because the thing. I wish that the trap had been set, but it's just that it would have implicated the Accountant General. Otherwise, I wish that the trap had really been set and that thing had actually gone through. We would not be hearing her say what she's saying right now.
Interestingly, the money was transferred.
Oh, it was?
Yes, the money has been transferred, and the question now is: does this not make the accountant does this not make the AGF complicit as well?
Yeah, because I was that to me, because I got confused at the point in time. I wasn't sure anymore when I started hearing the AGF.
By saying that money was not approved, that she did not eventually allow that money to go through. That's what in her response. That is the.
So we're having
AGF.
conflicting issues here, conflicting reports.
Okay, so the issue here now is if she claims mischief, you can understand where she's coming from. Because if the money was not transferred and the thing was through public, if she's claiming sabotage, not because it makes her a better human being by that action, but what she's simply saying is, okay, I don't want to do this thing and not allow me to do it. Why when I come, they expose me? Now me say, when I get bad belly for me. I hope Pidgin English is an official language in Nigeria now. Permit me.
I will have to
so that seems to be the case.
All right, then.
You know, but I think the days will prove what the truth really is.
Okay, thank you very much, Dr. Hai. Because of time, let's quickly get Mr. Akin's thoughts on this one as well before we go into the second topic. Now, as you respond, we do know that the president has given a go-ahead that she should be probed. Now, this is an administration that also has a separate body to look into the activities of the ministers and ensure that they perform. Do you think that that body is doing what it should be doing?
Again, the words of our elders will always resound. I know I sounded blunted when I was responding to Esther, and I still stand my ground that what is the true position of things? Has the money been transferred? Has it not been transferred? Has something really happened? Investigation will clarify this. It will come a bit slow, but I can understand where Esther is coming from. We are all hurting. And I said, I was one with her. In a sane society, you don't even need to wait for the president to institute a rule. You step aside. But because we are so ossified in the fact that I have a godfather or I have a godmother and all that, I have to say something before we leave here. We need to be extremely very careful. I'm talking to all the ministers as we go on now. All the ministers must understand that they are walking banana peels. They are walking banana peels. We don't even like you in the first place. We don't think you should be here. And so they may give you a kind of warning.
I'm sorry,
and
we don't have a caller. Hello, welcome to VOP this morning. Hello, welcome to VOP this morning. I think we've lost that call.
So you must be extra careful. Moses, I don't think you would like me if we are doing business together. That must be my assumption. So you must be extra careful. And I think it was Murphy that was making... you get into a particular place, you stand with one leg. Approve money or not approve money, they may mislead you.
Mr. Aki, remember she said there is nothing wrong with actually transferring this money to a private account?
No, she could have said that.
I mean, she has made several implicating remarks.
If she said that, look, if she said that out of a kind of desperation. Because you don't know, and you don't know that you don't know, you continue to march and then you continue to put rope around your neck. I will say, Sarah, let's keep the fire burning and put it on the feet of Mr. President. Mr. President, your badge of honor and saying that you want to make a change mantra is on the line. Politically speaking, I think from across River State, it's unfortunate, from across River State, her godfather or whatever it is, Mr. President, must call her aside and don't allow this thing to go like the Patricia Edu's case, or go like the former finance minister that, somebody wants to now put, because this thing will not go away. And the earlier you honorably bow out, the better. On this same government, all right, Mrs. Betta Edu must realize that she has a young brother somewhere in a ministry, interior ministry. Olumumi Ojo is doing exceedingly and fantastically well. And Victor or Murphy was also saying that it's not just that ministry. So let everybody open their eyes now, begin to make sure that they do what is right. Even if the people that put you in there are not going to act, we have a C page, social media, they will bring things out. My advice will be for Mrs. My advice, please step aside. Okay. There's always there's always a way that you can save the whole pack. After all, Jonah was thrown out of the ship on the way to Tarshish, so that others can
stay alive.
Esther, am I talking your language?
All right. Well, we do know that.
Thank you very much.
Well, thank you very much, Mr. Fatunke. We still have Victor Ohai, Dr. Victor Ohai, and Mr. Murphy Abadoni. But well, insinuations have gone around saying that certain ministries enable embezzlement. Fingers have been pointed at certain organizations. When the 2024 budget came out, she did say the money was too small, and we discussed here. Someone said, start out first, work with what you have. I think we had that conversation. Yes, that's conversation. Start out first, work with what you have. But anyway, let's get into other conversations because this is not getting out. This is not going off anytime soon. At all. Up next on VOP this morning, we will know who is in charge of Rivers State when the time comes. Minister of the FCT, Nyesom Wike, brags again And this is in a viral video. We'll talk about this one when we come back.